looks very happy today in his natural habitat, the theater. Look at him. Looking very nice.
So I just wanted to check in. It's Thursday. This is March the 4th. This is my planning period, second hour. It's been a little bit of a rough week. And I think that's for a number of reasons, but I wanted to just sort of document that. I had this thing about, the kids need to build the set, but then sometimes you run out of time and you gotta jump in and get some stuff done. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm building walls so that we can hopefully have at least a set that we can play on this weekend for our marathon rehearsal. I'd like to not I need to start having actual rehearsals instead of build days. Saturday may still be a build day, but hopefully it'll be the last full-scale build day, if it is. I've got 2 days to sort of get it all together. I'm finding myself, this happens in productions where 3 or 4 weeks in since it got serious, right? And by serious I mean we're here multiple times a week working on it. I build the plays slowly. I'll have rehearsal forever. I almost said I'm a rehearsal Nazi, but I don't know if we can say Nazi anymore. But because you don't want to make light of it. But I have been called the rehearsal Nazi in the past. It's because I really enjoy, it's my happy place, right? Sitting in a theater watching kids rehearse and taking notes to give them at the end. It's weird, but that's sort of where I'm happiest. So I enjoy the rehearsal process, and mine tends to therefore stretch on for months, but we build it slowly. So we memorize. This is a difference that I have with some high school theater directors, or just theater directors in general. But with high school kids, I'm generally okay with them memorizing as we put it together, as we do the blocking. So their scripts are in their hands forever because they've got enough going on in life. They got a ton going on. That doesn't mean that I don't have kids who memorize very quickly or spend a lot of time on their own memorizing, but they are the exception, not the rule. And it's okay with me if we go slow on the memorization, but that means we need a lot of rehearsal, and which is great, and I think it pays off actually in terms of the quality of the product. So you always get into a period of the rehearsal process where you wish you hadn't started in the first place, and that's kind of where I am. But it happens every more than once. It happens, and you sort of recover and things look brighter and happier, and then tragedy strikes and a wall falls down and you got to fix it or something like that. So that's kind of where I am. It feels really heavy and overwhelming at this point. We've got one of the box seats framed, and we can get up on it and use it. I got to do another box seat, then I got to do the bridge at the back, or we got to finish everything. The faux painting is exactly what you expect the faux painting to be when you have kids who have never done it before. It's awful, and I'll be spending a lot of spring break fixing it, but they've started the process. And they'll be up here too. The way that works is I'll let them know when I'm here, they'll come up and help. So it's not that I'm doing everything, but this is how it works. Is you have these standards where you have your educational standards, then you have your professional standards as a theater director, then you have your artistic standards, and you kind of got to keep all of those balanced or wherever you want them, right? My tendency is to go lower education, higher professional, artistic. It should probably be more even. It probably should be more like this, but it's not for me. So what happens is you let them learn how to do this, and then you just fix the problem so it still looks good. So you're still hitting your artistic and professional standards. So maybe that's not a bad thing. It just means you have to be willing to do more work yourself, which I am. The week has been rough. I feel like I've lost my classes. I have general fine arts classes, so you can take it and you can sort of do an independent study, or you can come along with me and I'll teach you specifically whatever it is I'm teaching, and that changes periodically. But this year particularly, I decided to go easier on kids because it's COVID year, and there's, this needs to be, since we are in person and we're going to try to stay in person, and we have successfully. It's March and we've only been out 1 week for COVID as a school. This needs to be a less stressful part of their lives, what I do, and sort of an escape. That's what you hope for, but it's my classes have turned into chill hours where they're on their phones or their Chromebooks all hour, and that drives me crazy. And my concern is I've let it go too far, so reeling them back is going to be a challenge, but I got to do it because it's killing me. My choir, I've almost given up on. There are a handful of who are really into it, and the rest are not. And the thing is, we're super limited in choir. You're not supposed to do anything in terms of singing, really, in terms of like virus spread and stuff like that. We have anyway, and the state is going on. I thought we weren't, and so I made a mistake. I quit reading the emails after I had the impression that we weren't doing competition, but we are. So we missed the deadline. So I have at least one kid mad about that. But anyway, this week has felt tough. We're also going through a lot of budget cuts, significant budget cuts. I'm taking a pretty drastic pay cut next year, but I'm lucky because I still have a job next year. A significant portion of the faculty and staff don't have a job next year here, so, and they're in the process of sort of informing people what their fate is. That's been happening last week and this week. The superintendent's doing one-on-one meetings, and which is the right approach, but it's a slow approach, and so we're getting sort of information trickling out in terms of who's here and who's not here next year. So that's happening this week. So this is a stressful time for the school and for the world. And I'm feeling it. I have felt it all year. I felt like the play was bringing me out of it, but now I'm starting to feel like I'm losing the kids again. They're starting to lose interest in the building process because, you know, it's fun at first, but then it becomes work. Once you discover how to do it, then it's just assembly line stuff. It's less engaging. So I've got to figure out how to get them back into that and to accept. One of the things that I don't know if it's specific. I think all kids have always been like this, like they avoid work at all costs. But I think even more now they do because, entertainment is in their pocket. And so competing with that is rough. Anyway, I'm going to finish up some stuff before my next class gets in. And then when my next class gets in, I'm going to keep finishing up some stuff. And they're going to do whatever they do. If I post this at all, I don't want this to be like a downer. This is reality. This is you go through these periods as a teacher and as a theater director, and you just have to know that it's going to happen and let that get you through it. The knowledge that this happens all the time, every year, every production, and you just got to get through it. And then it's great at the end, and you sort of forget this day happened, or this week, or this month, or year.
Awesome. Oh, this is nice. Oh, look, what's she doing?
Oh, just turn off the switch right there.
Very nice picture. Oh, she's in darkness. Here we have a majestic, angelic creature. Okay.